Well, leave it to Homer and the Holy Spirit, not necessarily in that order, to come up with a former Green Bay Packer for My Faith with Homer and Pip. Terrell Buckley, T-Buck, the number 5 overall pick in the NFL in 1992 by the Green and Gold, went on to carve out a decade and a half career in the NFL. He's a Super Bowl winner. He was an outstanding player. He's a college football Hall of Famer, marvelous cornerback, you name it, assistant coach in college. He also beat Michael Jordan in golf. But if you want all of that stuff, you tune into ESPN 94.5 with Homer and Terrell Buckley for entertaining and informative interviews. We're here to talk about his faith and can't wait. Terrell, as always, with thanks for your joining us, we kick it off with Homer.
Every month, I learn more about Terrell Buckley. You gave all those facts. I can't wait to hear his story of his faith. And Terrell, 50 interceptions in the NFL. It's the only thing he lost in regular season. Where do you want to start? Because both of us were in Green Bay when you played. And I don't know. I never knew anything about your faith. I'm not saying I should have, but this is all about learning more about you. Start where you want.
Well, let me start by saying you should have known that. You know, if every time that I scored a touchdown, got in the end zone, you know, I took a knee. And I think that if you can look over my career, that's why I didn't jump in the stands at first. In college, as my faith was growing, you know, we was doing Bible studies every Thursday night at Bobby Bowden Field up in the press box. I jumped in the stands, but I want to let everybody know, let the people know that I got all my strength from the Lord, and the blessing he stored upon me, I want to glorify him and let him know that this was not about me. This was a blessing through me, and people could see, letting my light shine, that all the good things is from the man above.
When did it start for you? At a young age, how did it grow?
It actually started at a young age. You know, I think a majority of us goes to church and you listen to the pastor. I think it really started in college of reading the Bible for myself, and continued through the pro with FCA. And then finally, I think getting baptized and dedicating my life to that was 98 when I was with the Dolphins at a retreat in Texas. Started to, again, dive into the Bible, read it for myself, understand it, and start to spread it out, not just listen to the pastor and say, well, this is the guidelines or the basic stuff. Do this, don't do this, have a good heart. You know, have that sort of happiness that turn into joy. You know, and the joy just shines, and it's every day. You know, it's not one of these roller coaster things that I was experiencing early on. So I would say 98, it really kicked in Miami on what it's really about. And I've been blessed before that, but really blessed ever since then.
Why? Why then? Was it a person? Was it you? You're at that position that I'm always curious about, when at an age where you decide, doesn't matter what your parents or friends or whatever, at some point you decide. When did that first happen? When you went to the Bible, but then the specifics about Miami. Why?
Well, just watching and understanding that the man, the pastor, who's ever up there talking, that's their views, right? And you read in the Bible, like, well, I didn't interpret that way. And from the tithing to this is how you're supposed to dress, to certain words, Jezebel, you hear all these different things, and I didn't interpret that way. So I wanted to dive into it myself, along with, we had a team chaplain that through the Bible studies that really was like, we're gonna start from the beginning, and we're gonna work our way Old Testament, New Testament, so you can really understand the difference and what it's really about. And it was really, really intriguing to me, and to have that type of power within you and you're not using it, that's where it really was coming from me.
Would your life have been different earlier had you gotten to that point sooner than you did in 98? Do you ever think about that or not?
No, I don't think it's been too much because I still had, you know how you have you know, that voice inside of you saying, you know, you're not supposed to do that, or you're not really gonna do that, right? How are you thinking? So I always had that conscience versus when I'm saved now, it was like up front. So I don't think it would have been the path I was going, the things that I went through. I think I had to, and that's probably, you know, I would have to say that's why I am the way I am today.
Reggie White would be proud of you.
Yes, and Reggie White, y'all don't know this. Reggie White, when in the off season, I used to call him Big Dog. We were roommates. Like we used to go to Derek Brooks used to have these charity events, golf events in town, and every year I kind of had the same roommates. I had Reggie White and Sterling Shaw, my two roommates. And that's how, you know, along with other guys, you know, Eric Dickerson, all those guys down there. But those two, my you know, main guys that I really, really enjoyed hanging around.
What part of the Bible hits you the strongest or hit you strongest then that if you present it to someone, you would want them to read this?
I would say the verse of let your light, you know, when the Lord is in you, let your light shine so bright that people would wonder, why is he different? What's making him different? And so through actions, they would come versus what a lot of people try to do is give you the Bible, read verses. Well, I know John, Philippians, you go through that. Well, my thing is my light is gonna shine by how I act, what I do, really, especially in coaching, on Saturdays, the way, man, what happens on those headphones is unbelievable. And I think through that type, through stress, through situations, when your light shines, like he's different. Well, why is he different? And that gives me an opportunity to say it's not me. Here's, bam, let's go flip this Bible open, and this is why. It starts with his name is Jesus, and we go, and his father blessed us, and he came down from heaven, and you just keep going, and this is where it's at.
How has it mostly changed you? How would someone say who knew you before 98 or whenever you feel, and they'd see you now? Would they notice a difference, or what would you like them to notice?
I would say, even though the slight difference of pressure situations, of just what you see is what you get. It's not really ups and downs. Where before it would have been the situation, oh man, we got it. We got to handle this right now in this situation. We got, if it's ball game or if it's an assignment that was due, or I don't act like that now because I know there's an end game, and that's not the end game. Just because somebody's trying to put pressure on you or trying to say, hey, you got to get this. There's a difference between panicking and urgency, right? Urgency to get something. Situations create urgency. Fourth quarters in a football game, assignment that I have to do to get to the players, or my kids, you know, I got to get to the airport. I might be running a little bit late, you know, those types. I just look at it as urgent situations, not pressure, where I just start to just lose my mind and do things that are, you know, how people say that's out of character. That's like the word a lot of guys use. That I look at that like, you really, really want to do that? You really want to do it, and now you're just saying it's out of my character, but you truly, really deep down, you want to say that or do that. It's funny.
You are now at Ole Miss. You've been at a number of places. How do you put this as a part of your coaching? What can you and can't you say to players? Or how do you feel? Is it just them observing you? Or do at some point you feel like you need to say something to them about your faith? I don't know what you can and can't do or what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, mainly it's them observing me, my language. You know, they were like, well, coach, you don't want no curse, and you do all that and you stay calm. And that's one avenue. Here, when I got here, the guys on Saturday, we was going through the preseason and what we was gonna do on game day. And thing is, we're gonna do exactly like this Friday practice, what we're gonna do on Saturday. And so the guys was like, well, we like to pray on Saturdays. And I'm like, okay, that's awesome. But I don't just pray on Saturdays. So if we're gonna pray on Saturdays, we're gonna have to pray during the week. And everybody agreed. And so now what we do, after every practice, and we got everybody say their prayers, we mix it up on who says, and then we break it down. And what I tell the guys, that some guys have never prayed, and I'll be like, if you feel uncomfortable or you don't want to pray or you got another belief or something, you don't have to do this. This is nothing that you have to do. Now, if you want to learn how to pray or watch or say, it doesn't matter what you say. You think it's somebody, you end it in Jesus' name. So I kind of lead the way, and I last year did the first 10, and then everybody started to get in and feel more comfortable with it. So some guys had never prayed before. I know they had a belief, but they think you got to say and pray for 5 minutes and say all these different things. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. I know you see that on, especially in the South, you see it in the Baptist church, you see it here, it just goes on and on. And I'm like, you don't have to do it like that.
What do you say to them to do it? I've never prayed, Coach. I feel like I've got the Reverend Terrell Buckley. I get the feeling if you weren't coaching, you'd be a minister. So you can answer that first and then tell me how you coach them to pray.
Well, the first thing is do you believe, do you want it, or you're uncomfortable? I ask all those questions. They said no. And then I tell them, be thankful. Just be thankful of what you have with somebody else or what you're doing, your life, your health, the ability to play ball, the ability to influence other people, younger people. Be thankful. If you are thankful, you're good. Give reverence and ask for protection. The things that you dream about, that you think about. If you just keep it in that realm, you'll be fine.
Would you be a minister? Could you be a minister before your life's over?
Let me tell you, with the Lord, I never put, one thing that the Lord has showed me is all life is I use it as a books in terms of reading books. And we have chapters. And every time I close a chapter, obviously another chapter starts. And there's no limits to what I think the Lord, where he can use me and put me in. And we sit down and we pray about it. And if he says, hey, I want you to go that route, I'm all in.
Every time we talk, I learn more. Reggie was the Minister of Defense. You could have been the Minister of Defense. I don't think anybody in the state of Wisconsin really knows you, and it's something new. Could you have been the Minister of Defense back then, or were you his lieutenant?
I could have been his lieutenant. He would have been the minister. I could have carried the bags, and I would have been the guy.
Yeah.
And okay, y'all take a seat. Here's come Mr. White. So I could have been the second, third guy on the side helping it.
When do you feel closest to God?
It happens at different periods, different times. I would say more consistently every night when I lay down. And I'm saying my prayer, get ready to go to bed. And it's one of the things, also when I'm getting a massage and I have that, the massage music, like the ocean music, and you're hitting the rocks and you're going, and man, I wake up and after that, sometime, you get in that deep sleep and you get to me, dreams are the visions of the Lord or something he wants you to do, and you have these visions, ideals. Most of my ideas from coaching, from decisions in life and all that come at 2, 3 in the morning. I have a notepad that I have beside my stand with a pen, because I don't know when I'm gonna get it. I know I'm gonna pop up sometime, and I got to write that down. It's giving me that vision, give me that thought, something I've been like, okay, which direction? And when I make a decision, I sit down and pray, Lord, whatever decision that you're gonna have me, whatever role you want me to go, whatever the decision gonna be, when I wake up in the morning, if it's on my mind, I'm doing it, no questions asked. And I wake up and whatever it is, bam, it's done. I do it.
Has there been any time in your life when your relationship with God was the toughest or tested? Or I also asked, when was it that you felt the furthest from him, if there ever was such a point? Either way.
I don't think I've been very, very far. I've had situations, you know, I put myself in bad situations with I've never drank, I've never done anything. So mine's kind of, they say mine kind of boring. It's really no, you know, it'll be hard to make a movie about my life because
no, that's not true. I can make a movie about your life in Green Bay. I'm telling you this. We didn't know you, but I can make a movie.
Yeah, well, if you take away all the drama and the stuff that people like, as far as guys, you know, getting in trouble or doing all that type of things. Mine is more of the girls. I didn't get the girl. I went over. She didn't tell me to the boyfriend. You see somebody like, what we gonna do? What's going on? Okay, man, my bad. You know, all that type. Just, I would say that high school, like, mine is more getting some places you shouldn't at parties. But then the Lord, I was smart enough, like, okay, I shouldn't be here. I'm gone. That's the type. I mean, it's like, I recognize, and I think the Lord really, really helped me to recognize and say, you shouldn't be here. That's you're in the wrong spot. Don't go there. Yeah, no, and I would do it. I wasn't, you see, you get the knucklehead, like, nah, I'm gonna do it anyway, and then here we go. I was not that guy. I'm not the guy that your teammates, when they want to go to the club, call. But when it's a life decision, contracts and all that, I'm the first person they call. And I just get mad at that. Like, hey, man, I can go out and have a good time too. You just don't call me when your life on the line. Call me when you have a good time.
I look forward to Tommy, as I call him, asking you questions, because I know he's as amazed by some of this. It's not your faith, but just learning about T-Buck. It never ends.
No, that's the beauty of the Lord. That's the beauty of having a book of life, because you keep evolving, you keep changing. I think it's like playing corner. Talking, and by the way, I was talking to Jair yesterday about this. You have a foundation of who you are, what you want to do, from an athlete to a person. And then from that, you can just keep evolving, keep changing, keep developing that, and hopefully into something even better, from a more friendlier face. And one of the things I do regret is and they don't know this in Green Bay, when I came to Green Bay after holding out for 2 games, and I was in the airport and I had Malcolm X shirt on and a hat. I think that was one of the things that people like, oh my gosh, we got one of these guys. We don't like him already, because without even knowing me, not knowing that was the movie. It was the Malcolm X movies out. When everybody, that was what we did. You get a movie, they have the merchandise, you put it on, and you still learning. So one of the things I wish I could have explained or did a little different was that, because what you just said about in Wisconsin, Green Bay, it's a different demographics and different thought process. That image of what I was doing at the airport was not meant for what I think a lot of people thought. And I think from that point on, it was like, no matter what I did, it was downhill. I hadn't even played the game.
All right, Tommy, take it away. You got questions, I know.
Well, the background he has here is amazing that we're looking at, and he is amazing. So Terrell, if you do become, I know you were Reggie's lieutenant, but if you do become a preacher, I think Homer and I and Brent would love to be listening to you on the pulpit to one of your sermons, that's for sure. But you made it big in professional football.
Yes.
I mean, the man from the time you were young and you had all this success at the higher level, your identity had to be as a pro football player, Terrell. When were you able to cross over to say, that's only part of who I am? Who I really am is a Christ follower?
I would say 98, right? If you look at what everybody wants to do, and I see guys not crying, they want, Hall of Fame players, and I look at my numbers, and I should tell people, I got Hall of Fame numbers. I'm a Hall. If you want to put a Hall and they want 5 corners out there, I don't know who the other 4 are going to be. I include anybody. I know who one's going to be if you're going off numbers and production, right? So I had that attitude. Everybody want to go. So I go with the Dolphins, 98. And from 5 picks, 6 picks, athlete, I've been a Pro Bowl alternate. I want to go to the Pro Bowl. That was my attitude. So if you look at the numbers in 98, it was 8 picks, led the league in punt return. I was 5th, led the NFL in return yards, was on #1 defense. We was playing bump and run, man to man, just on and on and on. And I was an alternate. Ty Law had 1 more pick, and he was defensive player of the year in the running. I'm like, that makes no sense. Same number. He got 1 more better number, but he's a NFL defensive player of the year. I can't even get an invite to actually play in the game. I'm an alternate. When that came out, that's when it really changed for me. I stopped reading the papers. I stopped all that and said, you know what? I started this game. The Lord blessed me with all this ability for the love of for the game. Earn the respect of my teammates. And all I'm trying to do, I felt like at that time was like, man, I want to go over there and show everybody that I am a great player and all that. And that ain't why I started. That was not me. And so, answer your question, that after that, when you say the pressure and all that stuff, it just came off, and I didn't care. I could care less about all that. That bled over into all the stuff. Like now, I retired. I watch every NFL game. Some guys like, oh, I can't watch the game. Why not? I love it. I watch, entertain. I put it on mute now. I don't listen to Troy Aikman now. I mean, all them offensive guys. I mean, I ain't seen a receiver get covered. Oh, he holding DB and all that stuff, man. I get sick of that now. If one thing I could do, I wish I could, was go on and be a commentator for the defensive backs in the NFL, because that's ridiculous.
Well, I've had a lot of walks that have gone a lot faster when I listen to you and Homer on 94.5 ESPN. And I look forward to more of those. You are outstanding. Homer has said, man, if we get him every day. Terrell, God made you to have a big personality. It's wonderful. You're full of passion. You're full of joy. You've got that great smile. But I know there's not only a peace and a joy, but a humility about you. And the surrender and trust just to go where you were in 98, to be able to let go of the control, that had to be difficult. It is very praiseworthy, but can you talk about your faith and working with the Lord in that?
Well, basically it was a process of I'm battling with the Lord, like, man, I want to go football terms. I want to be the best. One of the things they say the best is going to the Pro Bowl. You're doing all this. You want to be out with, I used to hang play golf with Emmett, and you see all these guys. And I'm tired of being out there. What's going on? And I had Jimmy Johnson as a head coach that I don't know if he and said one good word about me. He's like, what is going on, coach? What? And so when that happened, kind of the conversation between me and the Lord was like, again, what I said earlier, what am I doing? Why am I thinking this way? Am I trying to live for the worldly terms and do all that which I never have? Am I just trying to do and use my blessings and use the ability you bless me with to glorify you? And not to get all these work, get all the money, get all the work, get all that, and say, look at me. And that's kind of the 2-3 year process that finally culminated at the vote when I didn't go. It was like, life ain't fair. What are you gonna do? You gonna cry and all that? You gonna go back to where your roots and where you started at? That's kind of how to me that year all of it shifted back into where it's supposed to be.
I like to throw it back to Homer because I know he has thoughts. Let me just ask this, if I may, of you, Terrell. I'm really caught up in your saying that you were able to let go of what people thought of you. That's so hard in life, right? And yet your identity again is in the Lord, and you know that He loves you. So who else or what else matters? I think there's a great lesson in there for all of us, anybody listening to your voice right now. So would you speak to that, please? Because it sounds like, as with most of us, in the adversity, in the bumps on your path toward the cross, that's where you really grew to get to this point.
Without a doubt, as an athlete, anybody in the public eye, you guys, Homer, you have listeners, you have people that always have opinion about what you should do, what direction you should go in, and why didn't you do that? Athlete, why didn't you make that play? What happened? Yeah, the coach. And so I was speaking to people. We came into this world by ourselves. Lord said, from dust you came, dust you return. You shall return. So I take that approach. I came in by myself. I'm going to leave by myself. When you bear, like I buried my dad a couple years ago, he by himself. We said we had to say, and you hug and you go, but at the end of the day, it's you, and it's what your foundation saying, what is your legacy gonna be? I'll tell my kids, I tell them, if y'all just put on my tombstone, oh, he was a great athlete, then put some tears all around my tombstone, because that meant that from when I came into and when I left, in between, the Lord didn't challenge me. He didn't lead me. I didn't grow, and I didn't leave any type of legacy of light, the light shining. So I was just here, and I was selfish because all I did was think about accumulations and myself. I think that's sad. I even struggle with that now as a coach. I almost feel like I have a foundation, and I help and do things for a limited amount of kids because I don't have the time. And one of the things, like, man, am I doing enough? Am I helping enough? Am I educating? Am I giving? One of the things I think for young people, or people in general, that don't have the resources to travel, to go to certain places, go to the museum, to go to a nice restaurant. A lot of folks in our society talks about, well, they don't know nothing, they don't deserve that, they don't understand. Well, if you've never been put in a situation, something as simple as flying, getting on an airplane. Somebody that, just think about this. I know we fly and we go. Somebody's never been to the airport, never been on an airplane. Just imagine when you drop them off at the airport and they have no guidance. They're gonna look like a fish out of place. They're gonna look like a fish out of water. And I think my job, and one of the job as Christians and all that, is to show that without to be that protection, to be that person, say, no, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna lead you, I'm gonna show you what you do. Go check in, you get your ticket up, you get your phone, you do, and where to stand in line. Don't get over there and get that past everybody. You go in the regular line. It's like in Atlanta now. I don't even do the TSA, and you do the fast. Everybody has that. So I go to the regular line, ain't nobody in there. But that's from what experience. That's from experience, and I think that's what being saved for me, is about. The blessings that I've been restored for me, not just for my kids. And I tell them, this ain't just for you. They were like, nah, you give it all. No, this ain't just for you. This is for everybody. This is what the Lord blessed me with, and I got to be able to spread this. And through my trials and tribulations, what I've learned and grown and hadn't fallen off the wagon and did all that, this is why. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna have more and all that later, but these are my struggles. This is where I put it. I try to grow. I try a little bit at a time instead of all at one time. I would tell folks, take it day by day, but try to get 0.01% better every day. That's all I try to do. I'm not a finished product. I still have ways to go like everybody else. I'm human, but there's that 0.01% I try to get better.
Homer?
Yeah, you know I have one. I feel like I want 30 seconds. This is my new segment. If someone says, Homer, tell me your relationship with God, what are you going to say? What are you going to lead with? I'm going to lead with, God loves you so much you can't imagine. Whatever you like, he loves you 100 times more than that, and it doesn't matter what you do any day of your life. But I don't know what T-Buck Terrell is going to lead with, because everybody's faith, as we've learned, is different. So you kind of heard mine. What would be yours? What do you think is the most important, that if you have a limited time, that you can look at someone in the eye and say?
I would say put forth the effort to learn who the Lord is and how he would bless you if you really dive into it and get to know him even more. Right now, like you just said, he's going to love you no matter what. But imagine the love you receive when you really know him.
I want to change mine. I want that one.
That
one's better. It's better.
Yeah,
you gotta add that. You gotta add that part to it, right? If he loves you that much, then you gotta want to learn about it. I'm stealing that, and I don't know that I'll give you credit. Tommy, you can finish.
Hey, I haven't been given credit forever, so it doesn't matter. You can take it.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want someone to know about your faith story? You know, there are people out there hurting, haven't been able to surrender and trust as you have. Maybe they're ready to give up. Would you just share something maybe from the pulpit as the Reverend?
I would say the number one thing you have to be able to do is start the conversation with the Lord through prayer, through the Bible, through somebody else. Start. You cannot receive and the improvements in your life and all the glories of it, the comfort, if you never start. It's not going to be easy, but you have to start. If you don't start, nothing else will happen.
That's beautiful. Well,
I'm stealing that too. Now I'm stealing so much, I have to give him credit. I'm giving you credit. You got another one?
I got a few, but I'm gonna hold some up. I'm gonna keep some up.
That's good. Don't let them steal them all at once, at least, Terrell. Maybe we'll get back another time. But you know, what touches my heart as we close here with gratitude, great gratitude for your time, and appreciate your relationship with Homer and doing this because of your love for Jesus Christ. You said I'm a little frustrated. I want to do more. But you know what? You are letting Jesus' light shine through you and his love flow through you everywhere you go. So with every breath, you're making a difference. And that's not pandering. That's the truth from one brother to another brothers, as we are all brothers here on this podcast and brothers and sisters out there. So thank you so very much. God's blessings to you and your family, continued happiness and success and great joy. And I'll look forward to you and Homer talking a little sports on the radio soon. Okay.
Hey, I want to thank you guys too. This was awesome. I appreciate the love and opportunity for me to express some stuff besides football. So I'm indebted and very thankful.
Mr. Buckley, you gave glory to God. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
My Faith with Homer and Pip and our wonderful producer behind the scenes. You bet. Take care. Brent Young. We'll see you again, everybody. God bless.